Don't you know I'm loco?
Hello and welcome back to AR77. Today I've got something a little bit different in front of you. As the intro suggests, I'm going to be doing two, possibly three of these videos about a couple of pistols which aren't necessarily replicas, but certainly in the example you've got in front of you here, there are features or details which are similar to some actual real-world firearms. I'll go through those in a little bit. This has a very cheap little laser on the front, just one that I had lying around, so I thought I'd try it on the front of the pistol. I'll probably take it off, to be fair, because I think it kind of spoils the shape of it, and really it's not that necessary, I don't think. So what is it? This is the Umarex T4E HDP. It's a 50 caliber or .50 cal air pistol. Again, it's not a replica. It's intended, I suppose, for paintball. In different countries, you can get a more powerful version of this. I think you can get an 11 joule version, 11 joules version. I think this is only 7.5. And I think the intention is that where it's legal in different countries, you could possibly use this as a home defence weapon, which is why it's called HDP, the home defence pistol. You're going to face all sort of legalities if you were to try and justify its existence in that way in this country, I think. Best home defence tool in this country is probably lock your doors, get some CCTV, make sure your house is well lit, outside and in, and learn yourself some skills. Get some martial arts training or something like that for in case it does kick off. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend using something like this for home defence. But I think that's generally the kind of intention of why it was created by Umarex. Certainly the 11 joule version, the more powerful version, this is less powerful and therefore less appropriate, but I believe it can be used for paintball. You can get 50 cal paintballs, and dependent on paintball rules, which I'm not aware of, as I said in previous videos, you could possibly use this for a bit of paintball. You can also use this for just a bit of target practice in your back garden or in your home, and you can use paintballs to see where you've shot, or the fact that it's a 50 caliber projectile that's coming out of it, you can leave a nice big hole, so you're going to be able to see where you've fired. So that's kind of, I guess, what it's intended for. It came to my attention when I bought another gun in the T4E range, which I'll talk about in another video, which was the Walther PPQ, which obviously is a replica. And I just looked at the range, and this wasn't massively expensive, and I thought, oh, that might be a nice little thing to have. I do like my guns, do like my pistols, and it looks pretty cool, so I thought I'd pick one up. Let's have a look at it then. So we've got T4E there, which I believe stands for Training for Engagement. HDP 50, which tells you the caliber. It's all plastic, but having said that, I think it's good quality plastic, and it certainly feels quite nice. It's got enough weight to feel non-toy like. It's not a toy. Obviously, it's a serious bit of kit. It's shooting something that's 50 cal at the end of the day, and it's CO2 powered, so it's going to come out of the end with some punch. Obviously, you've got this rail here, so you can put an attachment on there. I've got this daft little laser there. There you go. That's how good it is. Look, you can't even turn it off. Come on. What a ridiculous thing. That's coming straight off. Nice fibre optic sights at the front there and at the back. So nice, easy, straightforward sight acquisition that really pops out at you. Let me get that in the middle of the frame there. Yes, that looks good. You've got a nice bit of slide serration at the back for design only. It's just aesthetics. You know, you've got your slide catch release, I suppose, there, or your mag release here. It's all just cosmetic, really. Nothing moves. The slide doesn't move back. Obviously, the trigger moves, and it is a metal trigger, as far as I can tell. With a working trigger safety, and as far as I can tell, that's the only safety on this particular pistol, possibly because of its intention in other regions. Yeah, let's look at the other side, and you can see a little bit more. Obviously, you've got your ejector rod there that's just moulded in. Everything's just moulded in. What have we got here? Umarex Cal 15 and some serial number there, I guess. And this is how you load the pistol. So it loads in from the bottom here. You just push the follower spring back there, and you drop in 6 paintballs, or you can get these. See if I've got one here. You can get these like rubber balls as well, which is quite good. I think you can get rubber steel balls if you're that way inclined. I think in different countries you could probably get pepper balls and this, that and the other. I'm not really interested in that, so I don't know the availability of that sort of thing in this country. I'm just kind of telling you what the gun is capable of, but you'll have to check your own sort of region's rules and laws and things to see what's actually legal for you to use in this pistol. Again, we've got T4E there on these grips, which are similar to grips that you might get on a, I want to say, an HK VP9, possibly HK45. I don't think they're identical, but I know with this kind of almost kind of spider web design there, I think I've seen something similar on the VP9. That's yet another pistol that I need to pick up. So it's similar that way there. From the back, you know, if you held it and you looked at it from sort of there back, it looks a little bit SIG-like or HK-like, you could say. And then obviously with this kind of cutout here at the front, one could argue that it kind of pays a bit of homage to the Desert Eagle. It's got a bit of a feel of the Desert Eagle there. Size-wise and everything, I think it's kind of similar to the P320, I would suggest. Or actually, do you know what? It might be a bit longer than that. It might be more like the Desert Eagle, actually. The trigger guard here is very similar to the trigger guard on a VP9 shape-wise. I'll put a picture up actually, so you can sort of compare that. And you can have a look and see. But it's not really a replica of anything in particular. Anyway, so that's how you load it. CO2 wise, you've got this screw here. So no Allen keys needed. I'll qualify that statement in a second. But you just drop your CO2 in there. And it looks slightly different to how you might think. Your CO2 cylinder here goes in that way. Which is counterintuitive, even if you can say it, counterintuitive to those of us who are used to putting our CO2 in like that in air pistols. The reason being, your CO2 sits in there, and you pierce it with this little doohickey. So that goes in there, and you screw that up tight, and take that out of there. So your CO2 goes in there. Then you put that on. You screw it in as tight as you can, and you just with your fingers you go as tight as you can, and then it will stop. And then you can see, difficult because of the lighting that I've got here, but it says push. That looks kind of orange, but in reality it's red. It's too bright in here. so it's kind of a red, day glow red really. And you push, so your CO2 can sit in there for as long as you want, and it won't be pierced, and you won't lose any CO2, which is quite a nice feature. I quite like that. I wish you could do that with other air pistols, I suppose. Although, having said that, you know, I am in two minds about leaving CO2 in air pistols, just like I am with leaving BBs or pellets in air pistols. But yeah, anyway, in this particular pistol, you can leave it like that with the CO2 in, and then when you're ready to go, you just hammer that, and it will pierce the CO2, and you're good to go. Once it is pierced, you know, this can be quite tight. Even just when you finger tighten it, it can get to the point where it's quite tight and it's quite smooth, so it's hard to undo. At which point, the gun does come with a Allen key, kind of a silver Allen key, but any of the ones that you've got for your Glocks or your things like that will fit probably. I think it's 6mm or something like that, and you can stick an Allen key just up that hole there, and that sounded wrong. You can unscrew it that way, so it does help with you unscrewing it. So there you go. Quite a nice little pistol, really. It's not a replica, but it feels nice in the hand. It feels, I will say this, it feels very comfortable actually in the hand. It's a lovely grip. I think those kind of grooves there are cut out are very nice, but there's nothing cut out. There's nothing sliding back. There's no safety other than your trigger safety and your organic safety there. Nothing really to shout about. The slide catch release doesn't work. There's no takedown levers or anything like that. But it's a black, big pistol that looks quite cool, and you can have a lot of fun shooting it. Obviously, the fun with these things is when you get out there, you set up a target or a bit of fruit or a few bottles or cans, and you start blasting them, and that's doable with this. And it's not that expensive. I think it's only about just over 100 quid, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to say 120, 125 quid just to play it safe. But I'm sure you could possibly even get it for cheaper than that. Nice little pistol, not a replica, but something a little bit different for you. The Umarex HDP T4E. Yeah, have a look at it, see what you think. Bye.